So this is the condition. So all these three probabilities are equal to P of x equals 0. So the question is telling you that first you have to divide the probabilities into these three cases. Yaudo greater than 0, less than 0 and equal to 0. So the green shaded region in Px is greater than 0, yellow indicates less than 0 and the orange indicates equal to 0. So all these are equal. So when all these are equal and sum is equal to 1, that means this entire probability, that is for the case x greater than 0, that is 1 divided by 3. Now similarly, this part is 1 divided by 3. And similarly, the x for which it is less than 0, that is also 1 divided by 3, because only then I get the total as 1. But now when I look into this 1 by 3, that is total for 0, 1, sorry, total for 1, 2 and 3. So each of this 1 by 3 now has to be further divided into 3 cases. So 1 divided by 3 divided by 3 becomes 1 divided by 9. So this is 1 divided by 9. This is 1 divided by 9. And this is 1 divided by 9. Why all are 1 divided by 9? Again, see the question. It says x is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, x is equal to 3 share the same probability. Similarly, x is equal to minus 1, x is equal to minus 2, x is equal to minus 3 also has the same probability. So we have the values of probabilities as 1 by 9, 1 by 9, 1 by 9, 1 by 3, 1 by 9, 1 by 9, 1 by 9. So the total comes to 1. So you got the PMF. Now you can compute your f of x and write it. Now next case is also very simple. They have only given you the function. So in the ninth problem, you have x values. So the question says your x values are 1 by 16 and then 3 by 16. Then we have 3 by 16, 1 by 4 and 1 by 2. So these are the x values, and they have given a function for the PMF, and that says your probability is same as your x. So for this case, so we'll have 1 by 16 only. So all probabilities become same as your x values only. So you have x as well as px to be same, but check whether total px comes to 1. So when you look into the values, the sum comes to 1. Therefore, it is a PMF. Show that this PMF and obtain the CDF. Now we can obtain the CDF easily. In the text form in some 0 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Do manually and so is equal to 1 by 16 plus 3 by 16 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 2. So the total comes to, come on, so total is coming to 1. Therefore, it is a PMF. So it was very easy. Now compute f of x, the CDF or distribution function that you can do. You know how to do it. So we'll move to the next problem. 10th one. This is also quite easy. The distribution of x is given as p of x equals 1 equals 5 by 9. P of x equals 2 is 1 by 9 and P of x equals 3 is 3 by 9. So you have x values 1, 2, 3, probability values 5 by 9, 1 by 9, 3 by 9, which comes to a total of 9 by 9 is equal to 1. So 10th one could be done. 11th one is also easy. They have only given you the W values. They have given you f of W. Question ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ careful ಆಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. Small f ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದಾನ, capital F ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದಾನ. Capital F indicates distribution function. So that's why you have probabilities like say 0.9, 0.951. So you can see that the total is actually greater than 1. So that is also an indication that these are not individual probability, but the cumulative probabilities. That is the distribution function. So the question says obtain the probability distribution of W and also compute some of the probabilities. Now the question doesn't say obtain the probabilities from the PMF or from the distribution function. So I can use any of the methods, either the distribution function or the column of probabilities to obtain the required probabilities. Now there are very cases here. You have mod W as well as conditional probabilities. So you should know the definition of modulus of x as well as the definition of the conditional probabilities to work out the probabilities of 9 and 10. So we'll take this problem. 11th one. Okay, so this is the question. So we'll have W values. They have given f of W, and now we have to compute our P of W. Now we had done this problem. I think the same problem with W and F with different values, of course. Last week, I mean, ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಹೆಂಗೆ ಎಫ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಎಲ್ ಸಿ ಎಫ್ ಕಂಡಿದ್ದು, ಎಲ್ ಸಿ ಎಫ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಎಫ್ ಕಂಡಿಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದೇ ತರ ಪ್ರಾಬಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯೋದು, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಪ್ರಾಬಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯೋದು ಇದೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸಬ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. The other cases are the next f of W minus the current f of W. 0.45, 0.65, 0.75, 0.9, 0.95, and 1. Okay, so our P of W is nothing but f of W plus H minus f of W minus H. So when I say value for x is equal to 3, it will be f of minus 3 plus h minus f of minus 3 minus h, which comes to 0.1. And this will be this probability, I mean this value of distribution function minus the previous one. So it's saying ಹೆಂಗೆ LCF ಇಂದ f ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯೋಕೆ ಸಬ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಅದೇ ತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ f of w ಇಂದ current f of w ನ ಸಬ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. And check that the total comes to 1. It should come to 1. Okay, so it is a PMF. Now let us look into the probabilities asked. So second one says find the probability that W is even. Now what are the cases for W equals even? So when I say W is equal to even, I could have W taking the value 2 or W taking the value 8. And since they are exclusive or disjoint, or becomes just the sum. So that's W equals 8 plus W is equal to W. And from the probability column, now always it is easy here to obtain the probabilities from the probability column. So I'll be using the probabilities rather than the distribution function. So this will be equal to 0.1 plus 0.05, so which comes to 0.15. So probability that W takes value even number is equal to 0.15. 0.15. ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? Next, third case. Please be careful with the equalities. 1 less than or equal to W less than or equal to 8. Andre, all the probabilities including 1 and 8. So easy distribution function or your probability function, you can obtain that. So when I say 1 to 8, so inclusive of 1, my values, possible values for my W are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and their probabilities are this. So it will be the sum of those probabilities, but you have to give the expansion of that, or you could say using the distribution function also. So since we are comfortable with this, we'll do only using the probability, but you could use distribution function. This is very easy. ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಎರಡು ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ you can write this as f of 8 minus f of 1 minus h. ನಾನು ಅದು ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. W equals 1, W equals 2. So these are the cases. So when you look into the total, you get 0.55. No, how is 0 even number? 0 is neither even nor odd, alva. What is the definition of even number and odd number? If you use the same argument, you could also prove that 0 is odd number. Odd numbers are always multiples of 2n plus 1. 0 is also a multiple of 2n plus 1. 0 is also a multiple of 2n. So you cannot prove, or you can prove that it is both even and odd. Therefore, it is not considered as even as well as odd. It is left out. Okay, so using the distribution function, the same, we know that any p of a less than or equal to x less than or equal to b is given as the difference of the distribution function at b minus f of a minus. So if you remember in the last practicals, I told you to derive the formulas for all these cases. In between, less than or equal to, less than or equal to, less than or equal to, greater than, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಸಸ್ಗೂ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ. So this is literally f of b minus f of that. So using this formula, now I can write this value, which is p of 1 to 8 as f of 8 minus f of 1 minus h. Now f of 8 under distribution function when your x is equal to 8. So if you look into the distribution function column now, your f when you have 8 is 1 and 1 minus h. 1 minus h is below your 1, which is 0. So it will be the difference of 1 and 0.45. So this becomes 1 minus 0.45, which is equal to 0.5. So either way you could do. Now similarly obtain the next case. Madi next one madi answer heli nodana. Third one, it is minus 2 less than or equal to less than 2. So one side matra equality irodu. I need answer using your f as well as using the p. Minus 2 less than or equal to w less than 2. So I have to select your probabilities from minus 2, including minus 2, and not including 2, because less than 2 andaga 2 ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸೊ -2 ಅಂದಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ನಮಗೆ ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ -2 ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ -1 ಇಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 3 ತಗೊಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. -3 ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ 2 ಅಂದಾಗ ಸೊ ದ ಫೇವರಬಲ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ are just w is equal to -1, w is equal to 0 and w is equal to 1. So this is w equals -1 plus w equals 0 plus w p of w is equal to 1. I cannot consider +2 because question says less than 2. I cannot take -2 because -1 is not an possible value for w. ನೀವು even -2 ಅಂತ include ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು next step ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ probability 0 ನೇ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So better not to include it. So get 0.2 plus 0.15 plus 0.2 which comes to 0.55. Yes. Okay. Now give me the answer in terms of f. Now tell me what can you write as the difference in terms of your distribution function f. With ಮೊನ್ನೆ derive ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇದ್ರೆ Pawan has asked me, sir, how to derive for -a less than or equal to less than b. ಹೇಳಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಹೇಳಿ. So here we have less than b. So obviously the a part remains the same. Now since equality in the b is removed, some part has to be eliminated from b. Yes, so it is f of b minus h minus f of a minus h. So when you apply that formula here,
Sir, a minus h
have
ಆಗಿದೆ
this
sir.
is f of 2 minus
a minus
h
h
minus f of minus 2 minus h. Now f of 2 minus h andre slightly below 2, which is in our w equal to 1, so it is 0.65. And f of b minus h andre -2 minus h, so below -2, that is for -3, that is 0.1. So 0.65 minus 0.1 comes to 0.5.
sir.
Try the next one.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, f of a minus h ಯಾಕೆ sir?
ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಅವಾಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತ?
ಸರ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿ.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿರೈವೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡು. ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? If you say a less than or equal to x, that means x greater than or equal to a. But distribution function has equality for less than. So greater than ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಬ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು in terms of distribution function. ಎಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದೀನಿ ಓದಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ, ನೀವು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಆಯ್ತಾಯ್ತು. And tell me, how will you answer the next probability? P of mod W less than 1.
Sir, Mr. Sir, you look in the fourth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Preeti D. What is it, Preeti? ಕಳ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಮನೆಯವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಚೆಗಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡೆದು.
Sir, P of minus 1 less than W less than 1.
So have to know the definition. The mod x, when you remove mod, it takes both negative and positive. So when I say any mod of x less than a, that will be probability from minus a to a. So minus a less than x less than a. So if there is equality observed there, then equality will be taken on either side. So if you're talking about mod x less than or equal to, in that case, that will be minus a less than or equal to x less than or equal to a ಅಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So ಈ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ mod w less than minus 1 ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ -1 ಇಂದ +1 ವರೆಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು probability ಬರುತ್ತೆ without including -1 and +1. So these are the values. Equality ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, so it is only one value, which is P of W is equal to 0. So this is P of -1 less than W less than 1. So according to our problem, only one value, which is W equals 0, satisfies this condition. Therefore, the probability is 0.15. For the next case, 1 is included. So this is fifth one, right? And for sixth one, we'll have 1 inclusive of 1. So we'll have -1 less than or equal to W less than or equal to 1. So we'll have P of W equals 0, W equals 1, -1. More values ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನ satisfy ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So since all these are mutually exclusive, the probability will be sum of these three. Which comes to 0.55. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದೇ ತರ. Mod W greater than or equal to 1. I can use the complement problem, complementary formula, and you can solve this. So P of A is equal to 1 minus P of A dash. So you can use that formula because we already have the event less than or equal to case. So you can use this and obtain the answer. So P of mod W greater than or equal to 1, or let me take less than or equal to 1, that will be 1 minus greater than. So this will be 1 minus P of mod W less than 1. So under this condition, so we already have less than 1, 0.15. So your answer should come to 85. Even otherwise, if you want to look into answer or the solution from the table, mod W greater than or equal to 1 ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ W should be above plus 1, W should be below minus 1 inclusive of that. So above plus 1 andaga 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8 are the favorable cases. Below minus 1 anta andaga inclusive of that. So these two are the cases. So except for 0.15, all other probabilities will be summed. Therefore, it is 0.85. Now our range is split into two cases. Mod W greater than or equal to 1 and mod W less than 1. Therefore, two are complementary to each other. So I can say 1 minus 0.15 also. Yes, Kiran, correct. Now try the next case. Next one is very simple. W between
Sir.
0.5 and 9.5. Yes.
ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟವ್ರೆ.
Mod W.
ಅದು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಹಾ.
ಅದೇ ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಮೈನಸ್ 1 ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಡಬ್ಲ್ಯೂ ಲೆಸ್ ದೆನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1 ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಕೋಬಹುದು.
ಹೌದು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅದು.
ಹಂಗ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಸರ್ ಹಂಗ್ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಮೈನಸ್ 1 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0 ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಪಿ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1 ಈ ಮೂರನ್ನು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 0.65 ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಸರ್? 0.85 ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸರ್?
0.65 ಅಲ್ಲ, 55. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ ಫಾಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸಬ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ 6.
ಓಕೆ,
ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ 0.55. ಸರಿ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? And this is 7th one. So question, okay, number 266 ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. To change it, this is for 7. So ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು 8, 9, 10 ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅಥವಾ 6A 6B ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದಾಗ. So this is less than
question. Seventh one question ಅಲ್ಲಿ mod W greater than or equal to 1 ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಸರ್.
ಅದು ಸ್ಪ್ಲಿಟ್ ಮಾಡು. mod W greater than 1 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ? W ಗೆ mod ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದೆನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1 ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಈ 7 ನಂಬರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ mod ಹಾಕೋ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದೆನ್ 1 ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡು. ನೀನ್ W ಇರೋದು -3 ಇಂದ 8 ವರೆಗೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ mod ತೆಗಿ. mod ತೆಗೆದಾಗ ಯಾವ್ದು ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದೆನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಬಂತು ಪಿಕ್ ಮಾಡು. ಸೊ W is equal to 3 ಇದೆ. So when you put mod, do you get value greater than 1? Say yes or no. So when you take mod 3, do you get greater than or equal to 1? Answer ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಡೌಟ್ ಕೇಳಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂರೋದಲ್ಲ.
ಸರ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಏನು mod W ಅಂದ್ರೆ? What is mod of -3?
Mod of minus is +3 sir.
Is +3 greater than or equal to 1?
Yes sir, it is greater than sir. It is greater than 1 sir.
So this is the one of the supporting outcome. Now next W is -1. So when you take mod for
yes,
that,
sir.
Do you get greater than or equal to 1?
Yes sir, greater than or equal
Yes,
to 1.
so this can be
Equal to 1.
included. When you take the
Yes,
next
sir.
value 0, mod 0 is 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to 1?
No sir.
No, so this cannot be included. Next value is 1. So all these values are positive, therefore mod remains the same, and all these are equal to greater than or equal to 1. So they can be included. Yes. So in the entire range, except for 0, all these 7 values are favorable to mod W greater than 1. So you can either write it in the complementary form, mod w less than or equal to 1 is equal to 1 minus mod w greater than ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಿದೆ ಅದೇ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್ ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ ಅವಾಗ.
ಎಸ್ ಸೊ ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆನೂ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ ಇರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದಾಗ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಕೇಳಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ರೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ mod w ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ 1 ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ನಂಗೆ mod w ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದನ್ 1 ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಕುಡ್ ರೈಟ್ 1 minus mod w ಲೆಸ್ ದನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1. Now in the seventh case, according to the question, so I have p of 0.5 less than w less than 9.5. So w is above 0.5 below 9.5. So above 0.5 ಅಂದಾಗ 1 ಇಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, below 9.5 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 8 ಗೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So 8. So it will be sum of all these cases.
0.55.
That will be equal to 0.2 plus 0.1 plus 0.15. Or you have all expansion ಬರಿಬೇಕು is equal to p of w equals 1 plus p of w equals 2 plus p of w equals 3. ಏನ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇದೆ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಆನ್ಸರ್ 0.55 ಬರ್ತದೆ. Okay, now in the next case it is the conditional probability. So what is the probability that w is equal to -3 given w is less than 0? So we have observed the event that w is taking a negative value. So there are several negative values for w. Out of those possibilities, what is the chance that it is taking -3? So if you remember the conditional probability p of a given b, formula. Conditional probability of
P of a intersection b divided by p of b.
A intersection b divided by p of b.
Yes.
B.
So here we are talking about the random variable and the value taken by the random variable. So I can apply the same formula. So I could say p of w is equal to -3 intersection w less than 0 divided by p of w less than 0. Now what is the intersection for w equal to